Hello there, welcome to part 11 of Love Personas. We're in My Hero Academia, and in this part I'm mostly covering the training of the students, just the overall training of them. So we're gonna move on. Okay, I don't know if that's picking up, but whatever. Sorry I had to tap my mic because it seemed like it didn't pick me up for a second, pick up my voice for a second there. I need to check. Anyway, so we're gonna start with Deku's training. So during Deku's training with One for All, he figured that he was taking way too long when developing it because, again, he hasn't really used it as often as he would prefer. I have no idea if that's picking up that the background noise picking up, but anyway, so yeah, he finds that he's taking way too much time doing it, so he's trying to figure out a way they can make up for lost time that he already wasted. And so one thing is he realized something. He realized something that he really should have figured out sooner, which he just face palms himself, being like, inside is going like, and then he pulls the velvet room key out of his pocket. The reason he does this is because he found that in the velvet room he could spend like 3 hours in the velvet room and barely any time would pass in the real world. Because it seems like the velvet room's time, the time difference in the velvet room and in the real world is very large. Like I think you'd spend a day in there and you'll only be gone an hour. But anyway, you get the point. So he could take advantage of this training with One for All and improve his skill with One for All in a shorter time frame. In the real world, at least, it'd be a shorter time frame. So, so he heads to the Veil Room and explains this idea to Igor, and Igor would allow Deku to train One for All in the Veil Room due to the fact that it would help Deku and his team fight against shadows overall. So he just says, "Okay, Deku. Okay, okay, I don't. Ah, okay, Deku. You can train here, but you should train with the other wild card users so they can help you improve overall. Also, may I offer you an opinion on how you fight?" Uh, okay, Igor. Anything you can add would be amazing. Well, I have been wondering why have you been copying All Might's fighting style? What do you mean? Well, it's quite obvious that you are not All Might. You may be his successor, but you are Izuku Midoriya, not All Might. So I would stop trying to be All Might and start being you. Start being me, huh? Okay, Igor, I'll try to find my own way of fighting. Good. Hopefully, you will improve even more by doing this because, in my opinion, this idea of being All Might has been holding you back, keeping you from reaching your true potential. Thanks, Igor. So I guess I'll go train with you and Minato. Okay, so the reason I'm having Igor say this is because one, All Might should have said this much sooner. It it just held Deku back, if anything, from. That's why I feared it really held Deku back that he just kept trying to be like All Might. Okay. Um. So overall, it's just better that. And I also find that Igor would point this out. He would be very blunt about this. It just seems like something Igor would do. But anyway, now Deku heads towards room 3, and but when he tries to open it, it turns out the door is locked. Uh, I said I was not talking about Minato and you, Deku. Look behind you. What? What? Deku looks behind him to see another room labeled room 3. Wait, this is also room 3. Yes, but it's not Minato in there. It is a girl who excels in control strikes. You all probably know who this is, and the reason she would be there is because in the Velvet Room is because the Velvet Room is a room that exists in a sort of pocket dimension. So it can probably access. It wouldn't be far fetched to say it can access alternate universes. when Minato, no, okay, when Deku opens the door, he sees a girl in a similar uniform to Minato, but she has red hair, red eyes, a Nagita. Otherwise, she looked very similar to Minato. The girl sees Deku and says, "Geez, about time Miyato and you have been hogging the honor of teaching you all for way too long. Anyway, my name's Minako. I'm basically Minato, but a female version of him. I focus on more concentrated attacks, so Igor figured I would be best at teaching you to control the amount of the power you use to increase the amount of power you can handle. Quick note: if you have played Persona Q2, you would know that Minako has moves like Fire Strike Link in Q2 which basically are controlled fire attacks that hurt the enemy after an enemy is attacked. It's basically an extra attack, so she can. So that's why I'm saying she excels in controlled attacks. If you're picking that, if this is picking up, I'm sorry. My parents are watching a show and it's so goddamn loud. They don't bother turn down the volume a bit. Whatever. He also asked me to teach you some basic support skills. Wait, like healing moves? Because I already know already know those. Not quite. The moves I will teach you are moves that will increase your power, defense, or speed, or increase the power, defense, or speed of you or one of your teammates. That sounds amazing. Wait, why wasn't I told about these moves before? Well, Minato and you are we're focused on increasing your persona's attack power, not on teaching you support skills. But why the, but why those, why not those, why those skills, but why? Those skills would have been amazing to have. I don't know, I guess it just slipped their minds. Anyway, let's get to your, quirk training, was it? Uh, yeah, okay. And so with the increased amount of training, Deku's quirk has been able to, Deku's quirk, for Deku's quirk, he has been able to increase the percentage to about 10%. This is due to the training in both the camp and the Velvet Room, which let's just say Minako's training is hell on earth compared to Minato and Yu's training, which Minako and Yu's training basically led to Deku having injuries too. Like just a few scratches and stuff, but Minako's training left him with a few broken bones. Not in the real world, of course. It's more of a mental broken bone. Let's just say her training is rough. Also, just so you know, in Q2, she's more open than any of the other wildcard users. Just saying that. So that's why her personality is the way it is in this. What if I've only experienced her in Q2, so anyway, if you're phone ringing, then that's their show, so just don't mind it. And if you're talking, it's their show. Hopefully, I don't get like copyrighted for that audio because I can't really help it. I can't really help that audio. Whatever. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, let's just. But in the real world, these broken bones, while the broken bones aren't real, he can still feel the pain in the real world of them. And let's just say, yeah, there's a reason why Igor waited this long for Izuku to finally train with Miyako. Yeah. But he did improve a lot. And Deku even brought his blade with because he never really got to use it in combat and he was worried about getting a bit rusty. He also started thinking of ways he can fight, of how he can fight in his own way. Other than that, let's get to how the rest of the team trained. With Todoroki, pretty much the same as in canon, but it mostly focused on his fire more than anything else. Todoroki also even started trying to figure out how he combines quirk with persona, which I'm not going to get into that yet. It's going to be probably during the attack I'll try to get into it. Iida. With Iida, sorry, I'm going off a script, so I'm just saying Iida. But some of the day he would spend improving his quirk and how long he can use it for and his reciprobursts. But most of the time he would spend practicing with Hermes. Sorry. And he even started coming up with his own move that sort of resembles Uraraka's water gauntlets, except with fire and on engines. He would he would even talk this idea over with Deku, who would help him with this idea, and Deku was overall amazed by his idea and very impressive with how determined he was with training his persona. Now let's get to Uraraka. Uraraka spends half her time working on her quirk, and another half of her time training with Athena. She has she has learned how to use curse skills like Iida. I think it's Iida, whatever. Um, and she already had started to have some ideas of what she can do with her new skills. And while she was working, she even figured out a way to combine one of her new tricks with her quirk to unleash a devastating attack. By the way, George Remix, I'm probably gonna use one of your ideas about her curse, um, but there's another one I had an idea for, so that one's gonna probably show up during the attack, which this one's gonna I found really cool. So still that one's secret. So yeah. Anyway, where was it? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I have a script right here. Why am I saying what was I gonna say? um, she also began thinking of other ways she could use her quirk and her skills, and started training her new skill so she can use it without wasting too much energy. Okay, now let's get some of the other classmates. Fucking okay. Where was I? Kirishima. To Kirishima, knowing that about the shadows and how he has to make sure he's enough of a man to protect his friends, Kirishima made it so he would be put under even more intense training than canon. And even though it made him feel like crap overall, he pushed his hardening to an even greater limit. Eventually, he had Bakugo bring one of his most powerful outside impact. And right when Kirishima was about to break, he forced his quirk to become even stronger and screamed, "I won't break! I am unbreakable!" While this version of Unbreakable is weaker than it was in canon, the fact they has it earlier than canon means that Kirishima will become even stronger than current Kirishima in the main canon. That's not said canon thus far. But anyway, now let's get to a group of them, a group um, of students, because they went on the same training thus far, a little bit of the same training. Yaoyorozu, Tokiyami, and Jiro. While these three definitely train harder than canon, they also take this chance to ask Deku to help train them, which Deku uh, um, agrees to. And during this training, Yaoyorozu learns mostly how to fight with a sword, and from Deku, and Tokiyami learns a bit of sword fighting because of this new move he came up with. I just thought of this move because it'd be cool for Tokiyami. This move is called Dark Shadow Blade. I don't know if that picked up, but anyway, the reason for this move is because Dark Shadow can already become an armor of some sorts for Tokiyami, and so I figured it'd be cool. It would push it. It could well, blah. We could. I figured we could push his capabilities with Dark Shadow a bit more, just make it a bit cooler. And I just really thought of it on the fly, and I figured somebody else could learn swordplay from Deku. Now, as for Jiro, of course she won't learn swordplay, because goddamn, she has literally no reason to. Anyway, as for Jiro, through Deku's training, she was able to become more agile, and her reaction time has definitely. Oh wait, she can react to a situation much quicker than she was in canon. Yeah, so basically, Deku focuses on reaction time and her overall movements. The one thing that they all gained from this experience was they are more strategic than canon. Just to get an idea of what their training was like. Basically, take Minato and Yu's training and add Deku's willingness to go a little easy on them. Yeah, let's just say they were very exhausted after training with Deku, and they thought that Deku was really hard on training. You don't know what Deku's been through when it comes to training, especially since he recently got through Minako. Anyway, we're gonna go into Kaminari actually, because he has been improving a lot. Because of the shadows, Deku no fucking because of the shadows, Kaminari decided to train his quirk in two ways. One being that he needed to increase the voltage he could handle without before becoming a dumbass. A very blunt way of putting it. And two, he started to learn how to control his electricity, creating more accurate bolts of electricity. Basically, imagine how he was able to shoot the Shinketsu High student with his electricity, but this time without using support item to redirect it. So yeah, Kaminari has improved a lot. The rest of so just to summarize the rest of class way, just to make this easier, with the more intense training, the class was able to create lower versions of their ultimate moves. Just to summarize their progress overall. As for Class 1B, I don't really know much about their ultimate moves, or anything, so let's just say they got stronger than canon. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Igus. Igus just spent most of her time helping the other students with training while watching over Deku. I'm sorry, I'm trying. Okay, nothing picking up. Anyway, just making sure that, and watching over Deku. So I said training with the other students, help the other students with training and while watching over Deku. Yeah. Aizawa overall experience with this. Seeing how Deku and Igus are helping the other students train their quirks, Aizawa starts to see the two as equals when it comes to their combat abilities and leadership. With Wild Pussycats, overall they were very impressed by Class 1A's improvement, and were also concerned with how hard they're pushing themselves. Like, yeah, and they were willing to put them through hell, but they also had a bit of a limit to it. They didn't really want to get them killed through training. They just wanted to push them a lot. But now this more intense training is a bit more too intense for them to put them through. Mandalay walked up to Aizawa and asked if his class was always this aggressive when it comes to training, or and Aizawa interrupts her saying, "Well, most of them have never pushed this. Well, no, most of them have never pushed themselves this far. But with the shadows and villain attacks, I can only assume that this has made them even more motivated to become stronger." Wait, what are shadows? Hmm? Oh, right, I never told you about that. Mr. Zawa proceeds to give the four. I almost I almost typed in three when it came to this because I forgot about the fourth. I forgot about that there were four of them. Fucking okay. My dad's yelling, so I need to make sure that doesn't pick up. Dad doesn't need to fucking yell about a show, but whatever. Anyway, whatever. Fuck. Whatever. Yeah, the four basic summary of what shadows are and about the persona users. Also, just gonna sorry, but yeah, my dad is yelling about the show. He does this all the time. He just yells about "Oh, this is bullshit" in a show. Whatever. Just get the idea of this. Anyway, yeah, basic persona about persona users. And after hearing all this, they were left speechless. They were amazed that the response about the responsibility Deku, Uraka, Iida, and Toroki had, especially seeing that they were all just teenagers, and they took it upon themselves to defend basically the world from these shadows. Koda, overhearing this, starts thinking that this was just bullshit, and they didn't have this responsibility. They're just wannabe heroes that just want attention. Koda then walks off to a secret spot. Oh, right. The whole thing with Koda falling off the wall scene does happen as in canon, and Deku finds out about how Koda lost his parents to a villain, and since then he's hated heroes because he feels like his parents chose being heroes over staying with him. which I can't blame him for thinking. He was young and he couldn't understand this, so you really can't blame him for thinking this. Anyway, at the which this actually could make him very vulnerable to shadows if what happens later didn't happen. At dinner, Deku notices that Koda was missing and never got his food. Yeah, let's pick up just fine. Anyway, just like in canon, Deku grabs some food and goes to look for Koda. He walks up to Aigis and asks if she can help him find Koda, which she does. And when they find Koda, a similar interaction happens. I don't say interaction or whatever. Interaction happens as in canon, where and when the subject of Koda's parents is brought up, Aigis says that I've lost many people. That probably caught up on the recording. Anyway, um, restart. I've lost many people that were dear to me as well. How would you know how it feels? You're just a machine. You're right. I am a machine. But I was designed with my emotions. I was programmed with my own emotions. And like your parents, the person I lost sacrificed themselves for others. Could just stay silent at this. I even had a chance to save him later on, but I didn't. Why? Because I knew that he sacrificed himself to make a better world for us, to live, for us to live in. What what right did I have to undo that sacrifice? It would just be selfish. And I'm sure that your parents did what they did because they wanted to make a better world for you to live in. And Deku just says, I guess. Ko's eyes widen at this and he starts to cry, seeing that Igus really did understand his pain. And that must have really hurt to see, even more to let the guy go, that guy go, when she could have saved him. Deku starts to walk over to Koda when Igus stops him. He needs some time to himself. Uh, okay, well, Koda, I'm gonna leave your food here. Come back when you are ready, okay? Koda looks up and nods. While Deku and Igus were walking back to camp, Deku noticed that Igus was crying and Deku puts his hand on Igus' shoulder. Hey, are you okay? I know that was difficult. If that's not picking up on me, okay, okay, I'm just trying to figure out if that's picking up. Whatever. I know that was difficult. Oh, it's nothing, Deku. Don't worry. Deku pulls in Igus for a hug and tells her it's okay to let your emotions out. The rest of the class and I are here for you whenever you need someone to talk to. I guess. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I was saying to talk to. If you need someone to talk, if you when you need whenever you need someone to talk to, I guess starts tearing up and hugs him back, saying, "Thank you, Deku." Side note: This is not a ship. I just want to make that fucking clear. Just want to make that clear. This is not a ship because I know someone's gonna think it's a ship. Meanwhile, in the distance, the League of Villains were preparing to attack. And that's it for this part. Next part's going to cover the attack on train camp. Anyway, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next part. Bye.